Hello, and I'd like to talk about the Golddiggers, how they try to fake love and do everything to force a rich and well-off man into a wedlock, into a marriage. And this is the most common case how that happens. From the very beginning, they just try to describe that it's absolutely wrong. They had no intent of just striking up a new relationship down there, and this is how that usually begins, as they try to portray the situation from the very beginning, which is absolutely wrong and fake. You've got to look behind the scenes to be able to read between the lines. Okay, it begins like this. He was persistent and persuasive, and in the end I agreed to have dinner with him. For example, now let's talk about just a few words about Russia's people's artist Armen Jigohanyan, and whose wife tried to rip him off and take his own theater, which he had founded himself. And throughout the month, this has hit all the newspaper headlines, and it's one of the chief news-making topic throughout, starting from late November and late October and lasting up to Christmas. Right now, it's a revolving story everywhere. Knows that, and everywhere talks about that, and different talk shop and talk shows are being hosted. When he arrived, his chauffeur, just continue how that happens, his chauffeur gave me a look as I got in, which said, "So you are the new one at that restaurant?" The matron, who clearly knew my date well, did the same thing. Before the starter had even been served, my dinner partner took a small packet out of his pocket, carefully unwrapped it, and slid something across the table with words, "So, what does it take to become a lover?" I looked down and saw it was a diamond. I could have taken it. I didn't. I felt insulted, cheapened. I pushed it back across the table. She pretends that she doesn't work, she doesn't want to take the diamond ring or the kind of the diamond female decoration. She's trying to make the sense that she doesn't like that. But if you try to peek into her subconscious mind, this means that she is hunting for that. She'd like to have the money, she'd like to stay with that well-off and rich guy to get some money, to hunt for richness, etc., etc. Before the starter had even been served, my dinner partner, I've read that, I could have taken it, I didn't. I felt insulted, cheapened. I pushed it back across the table. Looking back, I should have walked out of the restaurant. But the whole episode felt so surreal that I didn't feel fully enraged until afterwards, and a small part of me also thought it would perhaps be rude to walk out. But a growing number of women would slip that diamond. Yes, sometimes that happens. It's normal, and most of the women will even hunt for that. They will go for money, despite the thing that the man is quite old, over 60s or under 70s, and these ladies who are they're under 40s, even they're under 30s, they will follow these well-off and rich guys in order to get some money, or to visit some luxurious restaurants, eat some delicious food, expensive food, wear different kind of dresses and shoes, and all their finger decorations, necklaces, and all those kind of the cosmetics, because these well-off guys are able to just to invest big chunks of money into all that luxurious dolce vita, let's say that in Italian, which means uh, beautiful, luxurious, and wealthy lifestyle. Okay, he has given her a bedroom house of her, one bedroom house of her own near Bromley, and preserved her with a brand new £18,000 Toyota MR2 sports car, because women either like sports cars and they will do everything, even will go to bed with men over 80 years of age. Can you imagine that? And a sport car just 2 months after meeting her. They do have sex, and she says, I love him. After having sex, learning that he is rich, he has got a big bank account, she agrees to have sex with him, even claiming that she has fallen in love with her without old thought any guy. I mean, she admits that she loves her after getting that £18,000 sports car. They do have sex, and she says, I love him, although whether she'd love him if he was a street sweeper. She says that she will even love if that man was a street sweeper or a restaurant cleaner, or a dishwasher. Think about that, how women can and like hunting these rich, expensive, big bank accounts, guys with big bank accounts. They do have sex and say that I love the weather should, even if he was a street sweeper, is an open question. In anybody's world, being a gold digger is par for the course. For example, her friends are doing the same thing. She says that the friends who are dating rich men just to get designer clothes, they love designer clothes, they like being admired, and they like looking shiny, good, gorgeous, and with very nice, expensive clothes, shiny looks, with big chunks of money in their wallets. If I have friends who are dating rich men just to get designer clothes and jewelry, someone says here in the article, and one who was seeing 50-year-old just so he would pay for her to have her in her bed, to be able to enjoy her. Every rich and well-off man, even if they are elderly ones, they like being accompanied by a nice and well-clad and shiny looks woman. For example, you can take that like Mr. Trump with her wife Melania. She was an ex-model, and that's why he married him. Because he also likes this kind of the guy, this kind of the shiny, luxurious, and with curvaceous, with that curvaceous parts of the body as she is, and she loved this woman. And I think Melania partially was also a gold digger. When they met somewhere in the hotel, a pageant or something, it was a world Miss Lady in a pageant or a competition of the beauties. I don't know where they met, and that's why Mr. Trump has always been known as rich, and I think that Melania did something like their gold digger's job down there. And most of the women will hunt for money, claiming just the reverse, that they have loved his soul and his personality, but in as it may happen, they have been hunting their bank accounts, but not their mind, their true personality, and anything else. They may be faking that that kind of an invented love throughout some time. Then they usually, these gold diggers, most of them are, because I'm absolutely sure they will get out of the marriage. They will go their own way throughout their life after having ripped off the man of his cars, having got expensive presents, houses, properties, money, etc., etc. Even some of them just get pregnant and give birth to a child from that well-off and wealthy person who they faked love with. Dear gentlemen, please stay cautious. Even if somebody, those beauties, these gorgeous looking bombshells, try to convince you that they would have loved you even if you were a street sweeper, don't believe them. Put them to test before getting into a wedlock. Watch me. This is Samuel, BBC Sochi. See you next time. Thank you for watching.